don't want to run anymore. I'll have faith in Mizuhara. If I'm going to contact her, the sooner the better. Besides, I don't want anyone to take her away from me. Ring, 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 ring. Ring, ring, ring. Yeah, she's not picking up. Is she declining the call? Maybe it's just way too awkward for her. Or maybe she prefers Umi-kun, and now she's distancing herself. She could even have me blocked. Phone pickup sound. She answers. Hello. And that is how the chapter ends. Dude, this manga offer is just such a big troll. Like, one of the biggest trolls ever, dude. The fact that we are 396 chapters into the story, and her picking up the phone, saying hello, is considered a cliffhanger. And it's actually one of the positive chapters. Bro, I can't with this series, man. Oh my goodness gracious. Rent-a-girlfriend. Okay. There is a lot to talk about, because I want to talk about chapter 396, which is the latest chapter, which I just showed. But there also is some stuff from chapter 395 that I need to talk about as well. But before I get into this, there is something that needs to be shown, because it's actually hilarious. Like, it is just so hilarious, and it showcases that this, the controversy around Rent-a-Girlfriend overstaying its welcome, making no progress and everything, and Chizuru being pretty much insufferable as a main female character, is even causing quite a stir in Japan. So let's showcase that. So this is a post that is, I'm just gonna be honest, it's trending on Japanese Twitter. You can literally look, this is the original writing, and this is just the auto translation in English, and you have someone say, I can't help but feel tears welling up at the decline of this country, as the number of volumes of Kanokari has caught up with Dragon Ball. Kanokari is Rent-a-Girlfriend in its Japanese name. And if you scroll down, you'll see that this post alone, that was posted on October 6th, has 33 million views! That's 33 million views, bro! And this is a Japanese poster, okay? Yeah, it's saying something like this. Now, this got so much traction, by the way, it eventually reached the actual eyes of the author of Rent-a-Girlfriend. This is Reiji, the main author of Rent-a-Girlfriend, and this is his response, by the way, to the post that went viral with over 30 million views. He said, the characters just wouldn't move the way I wanted them to, and before I knew it, it had reached this many volumes. As you can see, this is the original, auto-translated, and this post has 17 million views, 82,000 likes, and if you go to the post that obviously got 33 million views, it has only 21,000. So Reiji obviously ratioed the hell out of the original poster, but I do think that in general this showcases that there is even people in Japan that are thinking the exact same thing. How has Rent-a-Girlfriend lasted as long as it has done so far? And there's posters that have quote tweeted, like for instance the original post here that went viral, basically saying, I didn't think it'd be a manga that would go on for so long. I mean, what do you even do in a romantic comedy to reach 42 volumes? Is there actually some battle scenes or something? And you can see the original Japanese as well. But pretty much, yeah, if you have not heard or didn't know, Rent-a-Girlfriend is 42 volumes long now. That is the equivalent of OG Dragon Ball. That is the length of Dragon Ball. Put that in perspective, okay? Think about this for a second. The entire journey of Son Goku, from a kid, first meeting with Bulma, discovering Dragon Balls, fighting Emperor Pilaf, eventually fighting Piccolo, and then meeting Piccolo Jr., and then, you know, eventually encountering Vegeta, Nappa, Raditz, Frieza, Cell, Boo, etc. All of that content is how long Rent-a-Girlfriend is in terms of volume count. That is so insane to think about. It is actually just insane how there's been barely next to zero progress for the characters. There's been development, I'm not gonna act like there hasn't, but next to almost no development. They're still kind of in the similar stages as they were at the beginning of the story. And it's just like, now they're finally at the point, 390 plus chapters deep, they're finally at the point to where Chizuru is straight up saying like, oh, I am actually in love with someone. I'm gonna face that person wholeheartedly. I think I love them. And it's like, you think you love them? You're 390 chapters deep! And you think you love him? Oh my goodness, man. Like, getting back into the main point. So, Rent-a-Girlfriend obviously is getting into some controversy online, and the fact that the author had to comment on this, I think, says a lot. And I do wonder exactly what they're thinking right now, but one thing I do want to point out is their words here. The characters just wouldn't move the way I wanted them to. Now, a lot of people are looking at this as face value and be like, bro, you're the author. What do you mean the characters are moving in ways you don't want them to? And this one, I'm going to have to explain it because people, are going to misinterpret this and be upset with the author, but in reality, as much as I do think that Rent-A-Girlfriend has went in circles and hasn't really done much in terms of progression, what the author's trying to say is that he allows the characters to move in a way that makes sense, allow characters to move in ways that feel realistic to their characters, that don't break their actual core character themes and messages and stuff. He allows the characters to be themselves, instead of coming in like the hand of God and forcing them to do stuff that doesn't actually make sense. And so the reason why there's been no progression is because Chizuru and Kazuya, Mami, and all of them, these type of characters, they are designed that way to where they would make these mistakes and not make a lot of progression for a very long time. And that's more or less what the author is trying to say. The reason why the series has lasted as long as it has is because the characters are just inherently, they don't know how to communicate with each other. They don't know how to sit down and talk. But finally, we're at the stages where the characters are sitting down, or at the very least, answering a phone call. So, with that out of the way, regardless of how you feel about what Reiji said, I understand where he's coming from. However, he has made Chizuru do things that are just outright despicable, that feels kind of like against her character. I mean, I know I've talked about this already, it's like beating a dead horse, but like 15, 20 so chapters ago when, the whole date thing with Kazuya and Chizuru, what she did to him was just messed up. That was malicious. It was not okay. And it honestly just felt infuriating from Chizuru to do something like that to him. It felt manipulative. It felt malicious. It did not feel like what she should normally do as a character, especially everything that happened up to that point. And so when you take a look at what happened there, it did feel like maybe that's not how Chizuru would be. Maybe the hand of God from, for instance, Reiji changed something with her. But regardless of the point of the matter is that there is development taking place slowly but surely. Now, in chapter 396 for Rent-A-Girlfriend, Kazuya builds up the conviction to call Chizuru. And I feel like this was a massive mistake on his part for a variety of reasons. I know why he did it. When you look at the context of the chapter, for instance, Umi building this, image in his head that Chizuru is going to be moving on with Umi and all that, and she's kissing him, and, Umi's going to step in and steal Chizuru away from him. Obviously, Kazuya was upset, so he took initiative, because Umi put it in his head that, Chizuru was no longer going to be his. And so Kazuya took drastic measures to be able to make sure he stays with Chizuru. But the point of the matter is that regardless of Umi's intentions or Kazuya's delusions, I think Kazuya calling Chizuru was not the right move for a variety of reasons. For one, she ghosted him. He texted her, she didn't answer really back, she ghosted him, and then they played a game of telephone through Mini. And I was just like, that wasn't okay. That was not cool, because obviously Chizuru knew that Kazuya saw her message, she saw his message, and the fact that she didn't just straight up talk with him was very messed up, especially when she gave him mixed signals with a kiss, and then rejecting him, kissing him, and all that. Just, it's weird. It's extremely weird to do. And so, Kazuya has already been through, a ghosting arc. He's already been ghosted by Chizuru for a while, and every time he's finally starting to pull away, then eventually he's dragged back in by some other force, or maybe Chizuru herself, and then his hopes get dashed once again. And I think this entire situation just showcases this repetitive nature that Kazuya has not really learned, that he should not have been the one to initiate this conversation. It should have been Chizuru. Chizuru should have 100% been the first one to contact him or answer or call him and then talk with him in person. I do think it's nice that she answered the phone. I'm not going to act like it isn't, but it doesn't change the fact that she should have been the one to initiate, even if she's awkward or not, because she has a repeated history of ghosting this man or giving him the silent treatment with really no answer whatsoever. And I feel like this phone call at the end of chapter 396, if you want me to be completely blunt, I think is going to be a bunch of monologue from Kazuya, awkward blankness from Chizuru, and that's pretty much about it. There might be some subtle hints at some progression, but overall, it's going to be left very vague and just pretty much leave next to no progression whatsoever in the following chapter. And I don't like this situation with Chizuru, because she hasn't learned anything, that she should be the one to initiate as well. It shouldn't just be Kazuya, because I want to point this out. If Kazuya did not initiate this phone call, most likely, Chizuru never would have called him. That's my problem here. And when one person is putting in all the effort, but the other one will not do that, I think there's an inherent issue in the relationship. And that is definitely what's going on here. Feel free to disagree with me, don't worry, but I think that is an absolute big issue with Chizuru. Now, with all that aside, I do want to take a few moments to talk about Umi, because I feel like it's very important looking at the context of the last chapter. So, Chizuru just straight up rejects Umi, says she doesn't really want to be with him and all that. She's, wanting to face another person she loves, and it's very clear Umi knows it's Kazuya. And the reason why we know this is because he literally opens up the chapter, literally this chapter, contacting Kazuya, giving him images in his head about, like, oh, let's meet up and all that. It was very awkward, and Kazuya's like, the only reason he would call me is because they have something in common, which would be Chizuru. And so, Umi is doing something very malicious. I don't know if he's necessarily being vindictive and he is petty and he's trying to upset Kazuya in some shape or form to where, like, he ruins it with Chizuru, or if, like, he's trying to set Kazuya up to where he looks bad in front of Chizuru and then he tries to swing in and get Chizuru as well. I don't know necessarily what he's trying to do. But there is definitely some serious shade going on here, that he's trying to do something to Kazuya that might make the entire situation awkward and potentially set up some drama, because after being just rejected like that, just in such a direct way, he's probably not taking it too well, and I doubt he's going to take it as well as Kazuya did. I mean, Kazuya wasn't doing too well either, but I don't think Umi's going to take it too well, and we're going to really get to see that aspect of him in the upcoming chapter. So, I'm curious to see where that one's going to go. But overall, Rent-A-Girlfriend, man, it is one of those series that, dude, I love talking about this series. I know people say, Chibi, why you put yourself through this pain? Are you a masochist? And maybe I am, but I like talking about this series. I do. I unironically like talking about Rent-A-Girlfriend because it's fun to be infuriated with this story. It is. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of fun to be angry. But I love you guys. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. It does help me out a lot. Leave a like and leave a comment. Helps with the algorithm. But Chibi out.